Well, an Ankole bull named Cumulus is said to have been sold for a whopping 1.65 million rand at the auction held at President Ramaphosa's Phala farm yesterday. With a name like that, I'm sure definitely it's another bull going by the name of Dollar sold for 1 million rand.
Now, while these aren't the highest prices paid for prestigious Ankole cows in South Africa, yesterday's auction drew widespread attention to the cattle. To understand why this breed is so sought after, we're joined now on Zoom by Jacques Malan, the president of the Ankole Breeders Association of South Africa. A very good morning to you, Jacques, and thank you so much for joining us. So let's just start there. What is it about the Ankole that makes it such a special breed?
Good morning. It's because it's such a beautiful animal, and when you see them, you just fall in love with them. That is the main reason for everything. The rest of it is based on common sense. There are very few Ankole in South Africa. There are below 800 registered Ankole stud in South Africa. So 800 cattle is a number of which one big farmer can have on his farm of the other breeds. So Ankole is really sought after. In South Africa, we've got a lot of black farmers. Black farmers love the trophies. The white people love their trophy. And if you drive around with people, guests on your farm, doesn't matter where they come from, when you see the Ankole, it's a wow. What is that? I want to see that. Can I take photos? And all the cameras just go click, click, click. So it is a huge tourism drawer, and that's why we love them.
Yeah, well, also we've got one cow that's able to live for over 20 years. Do we know exactly how many calves one female can actually give in its lifetime?
Yes, the stats that we got from Uganda is that cows that live up to 30 years, which is very old for cattle, can give up to 25 calves. So that is really fantastic. And it's the hardiness of the breed is fantastic. The disease resistancy, the adaptability to drought conditions. It's really an African animal, and it fits in very good with our tourism industry, where people come to South Africa to see the big five. They can now also come and see the Ankole, and they don't just need to go to Uganda to see that.
Jacques, there's the Bonsmara, the Brahman, the Afrikaner, and the Nguni. These are some of the other well-known breeds. How does the Ankole compare to these, besides, of course, its good looks?
The Ankole has got all the cattle characteristics, which is important. It might have less beef than your Bonsmara or your Charolais, those kind of animals, which is true, but it's got more meat than, for instance, the Nguni. So the meat characteristics is very, very good, exceptionally well. So that's good. But the important thing is, on top of that, you've got the ecotourism market, which is fantastic. We've got the hunting market, just like in America. The trophies are sought after for hunting purposes. We don't have enough Ankole in South Africa to do that yet. But soon, that might come at a later stage. Then the hardiness of the cattle to breed into the other races, especially for our communal farmers, which don't have all the facilities to do all the medical care with the animals, and they need the hardiness. And that's where the Ankole just will come in and make a huge difference and contribution.
Yeah, as you're speaking about the different types of breeds there, Jacques, but would you say that the Ankole is currently the best breed in the world, or actually does it have stiff competition?
I think if one come and say it's the best breed in the world, I think you won't be talking the truth. I will never say the Ankole is the best breed in the world, but I would certainly say Ankole is the best breed to farm with in South Africa. But we must remember that every breed has got its place, and every breed is a popular breed among certain breeders. And it's all about making your selection. But the Ankole itself has got wonderful characteristics, and that's why we love them and farm with them, and that's why they are so sought after.
Now, how much in total, Jacques, did yesterday's auction fetch from the around 60 lots that we hear were auctioned?
The auction is just below 21 million turnover.
Wow. And did any of those cows belong to President Cyril Ramaphosa?
Yes, he did sell some of these animals as well. He was one of the, I think we were 16 sellers, and he was also one of them. And everybody did exceptionally well.
Now, I just want to go back to the 21 million, Jacques. Is that a normal figure to come out of an auction of this nature?
This is double what we did last year. And thanks to you in the media for all your wonderful propaganda that we had about the Ankole. It just focused more people on Ankole and how important Ankole is for South Africa. So that is very good. And yes, I think with any new breed that comes into the country, into the agricultural sector, there is a premium to be paid for such animals. And how long it will be sustainable depends on how many people will enter the market, which we see there's a lot of people still coming into the market, and then the breeding. If we look at the breed, which is about 5-6 years since it's been released, the progress that's been made is just fantastic. And if that can continue, we see a very long future for the Ankole. And one must understand, as soon as there is enough of anything, the prices will come down.
You know, as you're speaking about that, Jacques, I must say that, yes, indeed, I think the media has managed to make the Ankole a word or a decent term in everybody's mouths. I mean, some of us who are not even into cattle all of a sudden are now going, what is so special about this kind of breed? Do we know exactly how much the president's cattle actually fetched for yesterday?
No, you know, a good heifers went for anything between 300 and 900,000. And he's got superb cattle, and he would also be in that brackets.
Now, of course, just, you know, as a last question to you, Jacques, there were concerns, I would imagine, maybe not even from the association, but just concerns around the auction itself, considering everything that has been taking place with Phala farmers concerned following the reports of theft of a huge amount of cash, of course, their $4 million. Was the association itself concerned? Did the reports that have been going around make you guys rethink how payments are made?
We're not concerned at all, because we understand the industry, and our industry is just like the motorcar industry, the house owners industry, any other wine industry, whatever you can think of.
Yeah.
You've got different ways of payment. You've got different structures that happens. And the model that the association follows is we follow a model where we rent a auctioneer for the day. They do the marketing, they do the sale, and they collect the money and they pay it over into our accounts. That's how it works. And then you've got different other models, just like selling cars. You can sell them privately. You can have other arrangements. We don't want to get involved in that. Our auction is a national auction, and it's been planned months ago. And next year's venue is already booked, which will be at Bona Bona in Wolmaranstad next year. So we can't, because of something that happened at the football stadium 5 months ago, now stop a match which is going to be played there. We just continue with our lives, and that is what is important. And we wish everybody luck, and we wish from our side as well that the whole matter can be cleared, that we all in South Africa can know where we stand, which would be great, because this is a wonderful country and we need to build it together.
Absolutely, Jacques, you're right. We have to build it together. You know, as you're making reference to how if something, for example, happens at a football match, it does not mean the game stops. But what it does mean is that there's more consideration and careful consideration for the security around the game being played, so that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. And likewise, do we usually find that, you know, as you're mentioning the different modes of payment, under normal circumstances, monies then get paid directly into an account or get paid via EFT, just for the security aspect of this? Because it would be really tragic to know that whilst this auction is happening, that it's also security risk, especially with the kind of monies that you and I actually are speaking about this morning. So do we usually follow a model of payment where money does not necessarily have to be on site for the payment to be made?
It is a norm lately that the risk factor is so high that a majority of game farmers and cattle farmers opt for a no-cash policy. But it's like selling a motor car. You cannot dictate that everybody has to follow this and that route. They still sell motor cars for cash. That happens. So it will still happen that some cattle might be sold for cash. But that is a private thing, and that's the way of how a person opt to kiss his wife. Everybody's got their own method.
Jacques, we'll leave it there, but thank you so much for helping us unpack this auction and just what goes around the auction of something as special a breed as the Ankole. That, of course, is Jacques Malan, of course, who is from the Ankole Association, Breeders Association of South Africa.